for making it to one of the final sessions of day one. I know that you'll all be very eager to be getting along to Atlantis Royal for the Sky Party. This panel, Clicks, Shares and Shopping Carts. We will be discussing how brands can deliver compelling content and build online communities. My name is Jenny Wilson-Hooper. I'm a senior lecturer at the Fashion Business School of London College of Fashion, and it's a pleasure to be here with NANDITA SINHA, CEO of Myntra, and Cem Boyner, CEO and Chairman of the Boyner Group. Thanks, guys, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us here.
So I'm confident that, you know, despite it not being a complete panel today, it's going to be a really energetic final session, having met you guys online a few weeks ago. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit more about your current roles within your businesses?
Yeah. So thank you so much for having us here, and I've been attending a few sessions and they're quite insightful. I lead the leading fashion e-commerce company in India. We are Myntra. India is a growing fashion market.
That's better.
Yeah, thank you. India is a $100 billion fashion market, poised to be a $140 billion market. I think what's interesting about India is that it is a market with a lot of consumers. So there are almost 250 million consumers who are buying online. And over the next few years, 300 million of consumers will be buying fashion online. The other interesting part about India is that a lot of these consumers are young customers. So 50% of the Indian consumers are actually less than the age of 30, and that makes these consumers digitally native. They are born on the internet. They've, you know, discovered brands, discovered experiences, all on the internet. And therefore, it's very, very important to create experiences for them which are digitally native and are engaging and are compelling and all lead into what we're talking about today. The other big trend that is emerging in India, which is driving fashion, is premiumization. So almost 100 million consumers in India will be the premium, upper middle class consumers over the next few years, and they are really fueling the growth of fashion in the country. It's being at the helm of e-commerce in fashion is very exciting because it's, I often tell people that e-commerce, horizontal e-commerce experiences are always about three things. It's service, selection, and pricing. But fashion e-commerce has a fourth element, and that is aspiration. And therefore, that's what we do all the time, whether we are looking at the pre-purchase experience or the post-purchase experience, or also the experiences that brands create online for their customers. So that's a little bit about what we do, and really excited to be here.
Great, perfect. Cem.
Okay, just to help familiarity, the group is running a retail business north of $1.2 billion, which is 75% offline stores and 26% online. And it's a robust business growing fast, online growing 100% in real terms and offline about 40% in real dollar terms. While this looks great, there is a curse in online that we're constantly facing every morning. Have you seen the film 50 First Love Affairs, where Adam Sandler and
50 First Dates.
Drew Barrymore, okay, they fall in love, but Drew Barrymore has this amnesia issue that every day when she wakes up, she forgets the last 24 hours. So Adam Sandler every morning starts again from zero, charming her, chatting her up so that she falls in love again, and only for 24 hours. Next 24 hours, she starts from zero. Same like the Groundhog Day. So the amount we're paying to Google's, Meta's of this world to attract the first new customer makes a lot of sense. But then when you have to use, again, Meta's and Google's for the second visit of the same customer, now that becomes a curse, and it becomes like a how do you say, bottomless well. Look, like great service, great product, great pricing, after-sales service, whatever. These should fix the problem, but not really. We know it's never enough. I mean, behemoth giants like Trendyol, Amazon, or Alibaba, with their great IT capacities, data mining, profiling, and deep pockets, maybe can reduce this, the chances of making the customer come again by herself, by himself. Maybe the chances are higher when you have the technology. But for the rest of the world, it's like every morning you start again. So first of all, I committed to myself to, I'm going to find a way, you know, I'm going to find a way. We have to find an innovation where we have to make sure that we can ourselves make sure that the customer relationship is not going to be dependent to every morning to pay another 8%, 6%, 10% for every visit. While we're still trying to find out a way to do that, what we have committed ourselves is to design a magical formula, a solution, a why not product, a why not method, an idea or a service so sticky that the customer will have to come back. That the we needed to create something, the Hotel California concept. Once you come in, you will not want to leave, okay? So this is where we put our energy, and if there is a round two, I would like to explain you what we have embarked on and what kind of a product we designed to make sure, we hope to make sure that we'll be able to put that direct link with the customer without having to, you know, use others or spend to other resources for repeat purchases.
A few things that I want to come back to a bit later on there, thank you. Firstly, Nandita, with Myntra being the largest fashion and lifestyle e-com platform in India, tell us a little bit more about creating the content and the inspiration. So, like influencer strategy, for example. Yeah. Can you expand on that?
No, I think I completely agree with Sam that you have to, like, it's almost like an experience which you want consumers to keep coming back to without having to go through gateways, actually. And just as a sense of scale, like we have 60 million users who visit us in a month, and we have 6 million customers and users who visit us every day, and they spend 30 minutes with us every day. So we are like the Instagram for them. And I think at the heart of it is really this aspiration and innovation that we spoke about. And as we were building for our loyal customer base, and as we were building for the aspirational fashion customer in India, we realized that we really need to own the inspiration, the the assistance and the community journey of the customer on our own fashion app experience, rather than actually relying on a lot of third-party, social media apps, etc. So while we do have a great presence over there and we have deep partnerships, and we are often the first in the country to try out new things with different, whether it's Snap or Meta or Google. But I think our attempt is really to create really compelling experiences on our own app. I'll give a few examples, right? We were first in the country to really launch live commerce in the country. So we believe, the starting point of inspiration and content to commerce, really. We launched that, and during the pandemic, after the pandemic, we saw great traction around it. But we also realized that consumers are looking for inspiration as they're in their fashion journey. So it's not like they arrive at inspiration and then they have a different shopping mission. They are in the same mission all throughout. And therefore, what led to that was to really create static visual content which consumers could actually look at the entire shopping journey and access it. So for example, if you're on the search, you search for something, you will see product, but you will also see content. So you'll see influencer who we work with almost 3,000 influencers who work with us to create content for our platform. We call it Myntra Studio. So you see content from Myntra Studio which is relevant to that search query on the search page. on the product page, you have a little small dot which shows how is an influencer really wearing it, and therefore they can go there. So you are constantly toggling between the content and commerce journey, and I think that's one thing I want to leave behind, that the consumers are quite seamless in how they are looking at content, and therefore they want to kind of toggle between the two things. The other big innovation that happened, like we started with Myntra Live, which was live commerce, which was a little bit of what we saw the Southeast Asian markets do, China do. There were 30 minutes, a lot of investment from consumers as well as influencers and brands. But what we realized that what was growing in the country was snackable content, which is the equivalent of TikTok or Instagram Reels, and therefore we started something called Myntra Minis, which has been a runaway success for us. So we host almost we have 2,500 pieces of content that are created every month. Again, I think almost 800 influencers create this content. We have 2.5 million users who watch this content, and almost 800 hours of content is watched every day. So that's the kind of engagement, to your point, they come for engaging with fashion, and they come for the inspiration of fashion. And then they go through the purchase journey, or they're in the purchase journey and they look at the content. So Myntra Minis for us has been like a great success, and using technology to build that. I think the other piece was assistance, because we realized that when you walk into an offline retail environment, oftentimes you're asking somebody, there's a stylist or a retail person who's telling you what to wear, what accessory goes with this, etc. Or even sometimes, you want to know how should I style myself for a particular event. So when, the generative AI, we started learning about it, we thought we'll do something unique with it. We launched something called My Fashion GPT, which is the first in the world to really leverage Gen AI and Chat GPT to have a suggestive way of really suggest fashion. So you could ask, I'm going to a conference in Dubai, what should I wear? And it would kind of give you 4 suggestions. So that is something which is really working well for us. We have My Stylist, which is, if I buy this dress, it'll tell me what accessories will go with it. There is Maya, who's our virtual influencer. And it's really conversational commerce. So I ask a question, I get a reply, I choose something from it. So it's really like talking to someone at a retail outlet and keep getting intelligence around it. So I think for us, this inspiration, assistance, and communities, these are the 3 things which really create content, where we are using influencers for content, we are using technology for content, and we are using communities. And like I said, 6 million people, 30 times a month, 30 minutes a day is really the gold standard for the rest of the, for the rest of the 40 million customers who we have on Myntra. But we want to create experiences which lead to that, because you want loyal customers. I really liked what we heard in an earlier session, that customers don't need to be loyal to brands, brands need to be loyal to customers. So you kind of create those experiences. And that's what the content journey is really about.
Really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jem, the Boyner Group, you launched Boyner Now, and that was about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
2 years now.
And I understand when we met, it accounts for about, did you say about 20% of your? Does it account for about 20% of your business?
We want to reach 20%.
You want to reach 20.
We're at 7% now. If we reach 20%, maybe
you'd be a happy man.
Next year, if we meet again, I'd love to tell you that we found the Holy Grail.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit more about Boyner Now.
First of all, coming from offline, I was born in retail, in the stores. I mean, our CEO, Eren Çamur'dan, is here. He can answer other questions if you have. If we asked, we have about 6 kilometers of store windows, combined. If we say, we want all our store windows covered with fresh roses tomorrow, I think we could do that in 24 hours, 24 hours, 5 kilometers of store windows. If we asked, would you please add some rose color with some details to our landing page, it will take me 5 months. Oh, UI, UX, IT, bugs, and so there is this disconnect between real lifers, offliners, and with the onliners who are acting much quicker, but are slaves of the IT deliverables. You know, there is fast but slow. With what we try to do, you know, we say we have to break the chain. You know, we have to break this hostage situation, and we have to have this direct relationship with the customers. So we said, let's find out about the pain points of online shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, number one probably is the waiting time, delivery time. A day, day and a half, 2, sometimes 3 days. It's a long time. By that time, you also lose your appetite maybe to the color you've picked. You started cognitive dissonance, you know, doubting your choices, whatever, or change your mind, which is also a big factor of returns. Right. So one is late delivery, that's the pain. Second one, in online, you pay before you shop, before you buy, before even you touch a product. I mean, which restaurant can you imagine? You go to a restaurant, you pay, you give your credit card at the beginning before you eat. Or any store, you go into Christophe and you first pay, and then you pick your products. Online, because we've accepted that as slaves, you pay first and you get the product later. The return is a terrible experience, also not for us only, but also for the customer. And the customer cannot touch and try the product. So we said, these are the pain points. Let's design a new business. We called it Boyner Now. Boyner Now delivers all around the country in 90 minutes. Average delivery time is 55 to 60 minutes, by the way. Percentage of hit rate is 95%. The other 5% where we miss 90 minutes, 3% is between 100 minutes, 110. Customer is very forgiving because he or she didn't pay at the beginning. What is 10 minutes between us, you know? 2% is really late, but that's all. So first of all, we deliver in 90 minutes. Now, second, when we send the courier, the Boyner Now service agents, they come with plus and minus sizes, or in shoes, half sizes smaller or bigger, and they come with alternative colors. So if the customer ordered 3, maybe the service agent comes with 10. Delivers the product to the customer, waits at the door for 10-15 minutes, gives the chance to the customer to try the product, look at the wardrobe, is it good with the product I have, is the shoe color okay with my night dress, evening dress, whatever. So we give 10 to 15 minutes to the customer, and if that size doesn't fit 38, she tries 38 and a half, 39, medium, small. That's the second area. Third, once the customer is happy, then the customer pays. So the service agent then closes the transaction. So you don't pay until you're happy. You're not happy until you try things on, check with your other reds, pinks, or blues in your wardrobe. You can order anywhere, to a restaurant, to your office, to your home, any time of the day, also by appointment. You could say 11 o'clock tonight. Most of the service agents are young ladies, by the way, and you make them wait outside. So, you know, return rates are 1%, 2%, and they have to come to the store. We used to pick them up, now we don't. Okay. We ask a service charge, customers pay. This is not a free service. Today, the service charge is about, I'd say, 5% of total purchase. The way it goes, we might increase it because customers are very happy. Now, why is this a why not product? First of all, why did we do this? you know, they asked Reinhold Messner why he climbed the Everest without oxygen. He said, it was there and I can do it. I could do it. The reason we're doing this, because we have 120 stores, okay? And every store, 90 minutes is like 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers. So even some stores overlap. So why did we do it? Because we could. Because how can we differentiate among the giants or the verticals? This way it became a why not product. You know, why should I not do it if it comes in 90 minutes or average 60 minutes? And why should I not do it if I don't have to pay? So this way, when we look at churn, Boyner online churners are around 35%. Boyner now churners are much, much lower. I mean, they should really have a good enough reason not to try Boyner now. The number that you mentioned, Jenny, 20%, is a percentage that we've put to ourselves. You know, if out of the 25% total turnover is online, and if we can get 20% of online to Boyner now, then we'll be able to say it really works. Because we modify it every day with the screwdrivers. We started with 70 stores, dropped it to 20, now went up 35 because the unit economics is important, the rollout is important, customer satisfaction is important. And unlike 5-10 years ago, now you have to profit even if you're walking. We can't wait until, let's wait for 5 years, you know, spend all the money, burn a lot of money, and then if it works, we're gonna, nobody, I mean, in today's world, nobody gives you the chance, that kind of money to burn, not the shareholders, not the banks, not the industry. We have to deliver now, and we have to make sure that the unit economics, the contribution margins are going to be there, so that we can, from 35, maybe next year we're going to go back to 60, 65.
Okay. So in order to keep on top of all of that, then, like, what do you think is next? I'm going to put this question to you first, conscious of time, and then to Nandita. So obviously, you know, building these, you know, euphoric digital experiences, like, what do you think will be the next step then?
I think, Jenny, what we give the customers, everybody, the whole industry, becomes a legit expectation and the norm. If we do better, then the reactions change. On our offline, we increased the value proposition by 40% in 1 year. It was big risk. Customers followed. Better products, higher prices, they all continued with us. That Indian thing, you know, American Indians, they go with their horses, they run very fast, and then they stop somewhere. They say, you know, we should wait. We came too fast. Our souls are left behind. Let's wait until our souls can catch up with us. So we have to make sure that when we make a move, customers are also, we're not gonna, I mean, we can't survive. So while this is true, online is the most boring, unexciting way of shopping. You look at the stupid screen, it's a need-based transaction. We need to make that livelier. That's true for every one of us. Because you know what's the biggest threat in front of Boyner now? I never told you when I talked about the pain points that urgency was a need we wanted to satisfy. Have I? I did not. You know, more than 50% of customers who use Boyner now, when we ask them why, they say, because I needed it urgently. This is not an emergency. I mean, this is not like you're in the office, you spill coffee over your shirt and you need a shirt. No, don't buy it because it's urgent. Buy it because you like the whole idea. You know, you want it and you want it now. That's not urgency. But you know, one way or the other, the customers have this fixation. Oh, I don't need it urgently, so why should I go to Boyner now? So why is it 6-7%, not 20% immediately? Because we hit a wall there, not a high wall, but there's a wall there. Customers' conception is different.
Yeah.
With online, you know, I want something, and I go and I don't. Customers are not looking for gratification, are not looking for joy. They want a dress this color. Hopefully, it's going to fit. It's going to come in 3 days. Instead of going to the store, maybe it's going to be sold out. So it is a need-based thing, and it's a habitual thing. But I think next wave is going to be making online shopping fun and engaging. I think this is where it was technology first, burning money second, spending marketing, you know. Now I think slowly it's going to be also adding joy. That's going to be
Making it more
your content, whole thing. I think we need to get there because we can make our shops a fun place to shop, but internet is not a fun place to shop. And we have to make it, all of us, a fun place to shop, not a cold screen.
Yeah. Nandita, final remarks. Would you tend to agree with that? What's next for Myntra then?
Actually, what I would say is that, like I said, I think we realized very early on that aspiration is really at the key of fashion e-commerce. Like you said, you know, otherwise e-commerce is very boring, it's very transactional, but fashion cannot be bought like that. And therefore, I think we got that very early on since the very beginning of the company, that it has to be aspirational, fun, engaging. And at the core of what we do a lot of innovations for doing that actually. So whether it's content to commerce, through our, you know, Myntra studios, or it is even about experiences which are very immersive. So we do virtual try-ons, for example, like if you wear a lipstick shade, it's really very lifelike what comes out, and therefore you can buy it. We do a lot of hard-working innovation also. So 50% of our merchandise actually goes through a size fit recommendation that the machine throws. So, you know, the customer knows I bought this and now this will fit me. So we do some innovation around that also, which is very hard-working. So I think one thing which we really want to do, and because we all are so inspired by it as an organization, if you wake someone in the middle of the night and ask them, what does Myntra do? They'll say innovation for fashion. And therefore we are so energized by it. But I think the next step for us is to really scale these. We have almost 2.5 million consumers who use each of our products. We want to take it to 10-15 million users who are using our products on a monthly basis. So I think that's one thing. The other thing is India is a vast country. It's many Indias. You know, you walk into one geography, one city, one age group. The expectations change completely. The merchandise, the product that you're using completely changes. And therefore, personalization is very, very important. Like when we have 60 million people who visit us every month and 40 million people buy from us every year, and our aim is actually to be 100 million customers, we need to really create very, very super personalized experiences for each one of them, because gender is different, age group is different, income, you know, or propensity to spend disposable income for fashion is different. Fashion tastes are different. You know, there are consumers who are more modest and there are consumers who are more experimentative. So I think personalization is very, very key. So that's the second thing. And the third thing that we are not picking up from offline, but really trying to put together is something that you said, which is what we use every day at our workplace also, which is why not? Like if today you give consumers A and B together at a value that is reasonable, you know, you don't have it, but why not will they buy it? And I think service is a big area where we want to innovate. Like today we have something called Myntra Express, which is nowhere close to the 90 minutes, but in a country like India, we almost 45 to 50% of our deliveries happen within 2 days, which is best in class for fashion. But I think the question we all are asking is why not faster, and how do we do it? So for me, these are the three things. How do we continue this innovation journey of engagement and making it fun? I think that's at the core of what we do. and immersive. Second is personalization. It is so boring, like it's so tech heavy, it's so boring, but it's so important for us. And third is on service, that how do we make a wow, like you said, you know, online returns is a pain not just for the retailers but for the customer also. So how do you make that experience really fun? How do you make the delivery and the receiving of the product really fun? So I think that's the journey that we are on, and that's really what it is. I think in a country like India, fashion e-commerce is only 12% of the overall, like unlike a lot of other you know, developed markets, it's only 12% of the overall fashion. So I think for us, new customers and growth through that is really, really important. So everything that we do to kind of get to that customer is really where we are focused on, and hopefully when we meet next, we're 100 million customers.
I was about to say, I really want to bring both of you back next year and just do a whole recap of where you're at. So I think what we can say really is our sort of key takeaways for this afternoon. Why not? And making online fun.
Yeah.
So thank you ever so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.